Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Our topic for today, the power of partnering, driving source-to-pay success with Zycus Partner Connect Program. For the program today, my name is Richard Waugh. I'm Vice President Corporate Development at Zycus, and I'm joined by my colleague Kartik. Kartik is the Program Director at Zycus. He's responsible for implementations in the APAC region and nurturing partner engagements, helping to decentralize the delivery model and building centralized competencies. He's worked in multiple product organizations across the domain and industry and brings a vast experience in handling complex global deliveries. His forte is to build successful and efficient delivery model and ensure an ROI for all stakeholders. So welcome today, Kartik. As we go through our program today. And what I wanted to do is to kind of start out by familiarizing our attendees a little bit more about Zycus, what makes us different at a couple of different levels. Differentiators first at the corporate level. You know, as a company, Zycus is known for having built the entire source-to-pay suite of software, an integrated suite, all organically developed. So no modules that have been acquired and stitched together, as is the case with some of our competitors in the space, but truly a natively built organic source-to-pay suite developed from the ground up, which means not only having a common look and feel, but at the data layer, a true process and data integration across the suite. Zycus is also somewhat unique in the space in terms of the amount of investment in product R&D. So a technology leader in the space, Zycus devotes fully 40% of company resources specifically to product development. And it shows up in the user experience. Zycus's source-to-pay suite is really known for being extremely easy to use, that really results in driving a much higher user adoption and higher success rate for our customers. Speaking of customers, I think Zycus is known for a level of customer intimacy and customer centricity that enables us to be much more nimble, much more agile and flexible in responding to customer needs. And finally, unlike many of our competitors that are either already public and therefore susceptible to kind of quarterly results and reporting earnings and those kinds of things, or others that are backed by private equity or venture capital, Zycus is privately held and profitable with no either short-term demands from the public markets or requirements to exit from private equity investors. So for our customers, that means we're a stable long-term partner, and certainly in our market we've seen a lot of merger and acquisition activity. So for customers entering into long-term relationships, they know that Zycus has the staying power that will be there for the long haul as we take them through and beyond a transformation of their procurement processes. So those are some of the things at a corporate level that differentiate Zycus. I'll talk for a moment about how we've been recognized by independent, credible third-party analyst firms that rank and rate the various technology providers in the space, and I won't go into all of the accolades received here, but for instance, with Gartner, Zycus has been recognized as a leader in the Magic Quadrant 4 consecutive times, the most recent time in 2018 in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for Strategic Sourcing Application Suites. Likewise, we've been recognized as a leader in the Forrester Wave, both the most recent Forrester Wave for e-procurement in 2017 and one that just came out in the last week for contract lifecycle management, again, a leader in the Forrester Wave for contract lifecycle management for source-to-contract suites. So broadly recognized in the analyst community as a true technology leader in the sourcing and procurement marketplace. We serve a global customer base. We have a global footprint, so offices across the globe in multiple continents with the ability to support customers as they roll out solutions on a global basis. So what I wanted to do is, don't want to get ahead of myself here just yet, but talk a little bit about Zycus's legacy, where we've come from, and our vision, where we're headed. As you know, prospective partners think about who they want to tie up with in this space, I think it's helpful to understand what that legacy and vision entails. And certainly, when Zycus first came to market right around the turn of the century, you know, about 2000, 2002, the very first patent that Zycus filed was for artificial intelligence in the domain of spend analytics. And on the right-hand side, you can kind of see here, AI is at the core, and you're really embedded in our DNA. So AI really informs everything that we do. And our focus areas, our key tenets are around leveraging AI to deliver a comprehensive and integrated product suite that really solves all the requirements across the source-to-pay continuum, and to do so by keeping in mind a constant focus on both ease of use to satisfy and, in fact, delight the customer, and maintaining that customer focus to have a level of intimacy with those customers, because they're not just buying technology, they're buying a result. They want a solution to understand their business, ensure that they're achieving success in terms of adoption as well as ROI. So that's kind of how we look at the market and our role in the market. And, you know, as I said, delivering a comprehensive and integrated product suite is a key tenet in this capability. So let's take a look at the products and kind of what makes us different from a functional perspective. As we look at source to pay, you know, in the center here, all of our application or functional modules are supported by a single unified supplier portal that goes across. iRequest, which is a tool that's kind of a front end to the procurement process, the way in which you know, requirements or requests flow into the procurement work queue. OneView is a cross-suite dashboard view. iManage is a way to project manage engagements. So those are sort of pillars that support the functional modules. So I'll just build those out. You've got procure to pay, consisting of both e-procurement and e-invoicing. Financial savings management, a way to track and report the savings generated through the sourcing and procurement processes. Spend analytics, as I mentioned, the flagship product, in fact, for Zycus when we first launched the company, and one which remains the gold standard in the space, using AI to create a more accurate and you know, timely view of spend data. Leveraging then the spend data to be able to more effectively execute category strategies and sourcing strategies to identify maximum savings, flowing right from the sourcing process then into the contracting process. In fact, being able to take the negotiated commercial terms and pricing right from the RFP process into the contract process, therefore leveraging that authoring capability to build a repository of searchable agreements, and, you know, sort of underpinning the entire suite, the supplier management capability, both in terms of onboarding suppliers, so supplier information management through the iSupplier module, and being able to track and measure key performance indicators through the iPerform capability. So that's the entire suite, as I mentioned, all organically developed and fully integrated. Just kind of look then at what are some of the key differentiators. So when it comes to spend analytics, as opposed to rules-based methods of classifying and categorizing spend, the Zycus spend analysis module leverages artificial intelligence, so a machine learning technology. This AI engine has the ability to therefore be able to categorize with a higher degree of accuracy and being able to turn around spend refreshes much more quickly, a higher throughput, because it's leveraging this machine learning knowledge base. In the e-sourcing domain, it's really about coverage and the ability to support very complex RFP and RFQ kind of sourcing processes or auctions that may entail very large bid packages, so in excess of 10,000 line items with hundreds of suppliers, for example, but also to be able to address the more tactical sourcing approach with a quick source tool that's very quick and easy to use to get those 3 bids in a buy. So really going from the most basic to the most complex. In contract management, one of the keys to adoption and real traction has been to enable contract authoring and version control through the use of a Microsoft Word plugin. So users, legal in particular, that might be more comfortable operating in Word can continue to do so while being persistently connected to the contract management tool. So all the changes that are made are tracked in real time, maintaining that version control and oversight through the contracting process, and then being able to pull data out. So powerful search in the repository across metadata tags, but also keyword search and free text search to be able to find particular clauses wherever they exist in the contract repository, really being able to help manage contract risk and performance obligation. In the supplier management space, one of the unique aspects of the Zycus tool is having, in fact, a single unified supplier portal that goes across all of these modules. So it really promotes, in fact, one version of truth when it comes to supplier information. And for the supplier's perspective, it allows them to log in once, enter data once, and have it propagated and repurposed throughout the entire suite. So a very standard navigation method and a simplified experience for suppliers as well. In the procure-to-pay space, we're really enabling a guided buying capability to simplify the user experience, driving higher compliance and higher adoption, and really operationalizing procure-to-pay and integrating other aspects of the source-to-pay suite. So, for instance, bringing contracts into the requisitioning process, because after all, so much of what's being purchased through a procure-to-pay type of interface is not necessarily standard products, catalogable spend, but also services. So having those contracts available drives the maximum spend coverage and compliance through the procure-to-pay process. And bringing this all together is a financial savings management module to be able to track and report savings and actually get finance sign-off on the bottom line delivered savings that matriculate through to the income statement, the balance sheet, and cash flow statements. So that's a look at some of the key technical and functional capabilities and, in fact, differentiators in the Zycus suite. Just to give you a sense of what that user experience is like and how AI is driving the source-to-pay process, I mentioned at the outset that AI is leveraged in initially classifying and categorizing spend transactions. But AI does more than that. It actually enables a capability that we call spend mining, so that the technology proactively suggests to the users what their best savings opportunities from a category standpoint would be, to present that to the user and make them actionable so that they don't have to consciously always be hunting for savings opportunities. The software, the AI capability, suggests those to them. Likewise, spend monitoring is a capability that allows users to kind of set some parameters and, in fact, set it and forget it, so that the system will alert me anytime there's a purchase transaction, for instance, which is made in a non-compliant way with someone other than the contracted approved vendor, or perhaps set those alerts and flags as I approach a volume discount or rebate, so that I don't have to consciously be thinking about that. The software will alert me to those opportunities. Likewise, when I get into the sourcing and contracting phase, a Smart Assist capability, which leverages AI, is looking at my historical sourcing and contracting patterns to, for instance, suggest what would the optimal sourcing approach be. Should I do an RFP, an RFQ, an auction? Which suppliers should I invite to a sourcing event based on past performance? When it comes to contracting, historically, how long has it taken me to go through a contracting cycle for a particular product or service, and making suggestions and in fact setting reminders to initiate that contracting cycle based on those historical patterns, or perhaps to suggest based on the dollar amount or the commodity or a product or service that's being contracted for, what clauses or protections I should include in when I structure the agreement for that. AI flows through to the operational side of procurement too. So guided buying allows the user to use their natural language search term, and behind the scenes AI is automatically classifying their search to the correct category. And what that allows the software to do is therefore present the user with only the approved contracted vendors for that particular category, to really be able to default all of the information so the user doesn't have to guess about what category code to assign or what GL code to assign or who needs to approve it. All of that is automatically invoked using the artificial intelligence capability. And throughout, AI is setting alerts and reminders to, for instance, monitor supplier risk or performance issues. So that gives you an idea of how AI has really created a much more capable and intelligent process. I would call this augmented procurement. And what we're seeing next is really the capability around autonomous procurement leveraging RPA, robotic process automation. So just this year, Zycus has launched the Merlin AI Studio. So a lot of detail here that I won't go into, but across the product suite, there are over 1,000 APIs, application interfaces, that link those source-to-pay modules together, but also link the suite to the customer's back-end technology infrastructure. And what we've done is deployed really a library, a menu of botlets, if you will, purpose-built RPA software bots to do specific kinds of autonomous tasks, to really remove the burden of mundane data entry or systems integration to pull data from one source system to another, and be able to offer that first in a test pad so users can select particular bots, run them in a test environment to really gauge the applicability and functionality before launching those into a production environment. And to give you a sense of what some of those bots look like, here's some samples. For instance, an invoice email attachment bot. So many customers continue to get invoices as PDF attachments to emails, for example, that then someone has to either put through an OCR, an optical character recognition process, or in fact manually perform data entry to key in the information on those attachments to create an invoice. Here the bot can perform those tasks on behalf of the user, be able to pull both header and line level information out of an attached invoice to populate, in fact, an electronic invoice. So speeding that invoice review and approval process and making it much more accurate as well. Bots for multiple other purposes as well, whether that's extracting metadata from contracts or clauses from contracts, or comparing contracts to perform risk analytics, to be able to simplify the RFP or RFQ process for very standard types of negotiations, really performing that in an autonomous fashion. So these bots continue to grow, and you see some of the early feedback from customers seeing tremendous productivity potential from leveraging RPA in their process. And as we work with customers, it's important to note that procurement digital transformation is really part of a broader enterprise-wide or digital business strategy. And Zycus is really focusing on how we enable procurement to really fulfill their role of transforming the procurement function as part of a broader digital business enablement and digital transformation. And here's Hackett's model that they really identify 4 pillars and sort of one underlying foundational capability that are critical to enabling procurement digital transformation, and starts at that foundational layer. Number 1, analytic-driven insights, and you can kind of see in each of these areas some pertinent quotes from various analyst firms like Gartner, for example, that talks about Zycus with its origins and spend analytics and leveraging this to develop overall analytic capabilities across source to pay with regards to analytics and reporting. So if that's the foundation, number 2 is to enable this omni-channel personalized stakeholder experience. I mentioned earlier iRequest being a front end or a portal to the procurement process, and recognized here as really a unique capability that Spend Matters, for one, doesn't see other providers in the space executing in a similar fashion. The other pillar, number 3 here, digitally enabled procurement workforce. So that means really providing robust modules at each stage of the source-to-pay continuum to enable the end-to-end process, and then being able to, in the case of the next pillar, number 4, provide that smart orchestration. So here's a quote from Forrester that talks about Zycus's reputation for easy-to-use software, both upstream and downstream with e-purchasing, that has that behind-the-scenes intelligence built in that makes the user experience much easier and much more effective. And finally, being able to take that source-to-pay platform and network it into the customer's back-end systems such as ERP and other third-party systems as well. So that gives you a good idea of how we're enabling a full end-to-end procurement digital transformation. So now that you know more about Zycus, let's talk about how to partner with Zycus. And there are multiple models in which we operate with partners. Certainly one of the key aspects is partners that provide system implementation and systems integration support. Makes our capabilities much more scalable, really addresses customer needs for a global rollout, inclusive of not only systems integration but change management as well. Now, in addition, on the go-to-market side, partners can operate with Zycus as potentially referral partners or reseller partners, technology partners that comprise the area of solutions that extend the Zycus technology footprint, and certainly there are opportunities for joint marketing and collaboration. Now, when we talk about the system implementation and how we engage with partners, we see it very much as a collaboration. And I think it's important that potential partners know that the Zycus team is there as a backstop for them. And as we look across pre-implementation, implementation, and post-implementation phases, the goal is to be able to enable the partner to perform as many or all of these functions as they have capability, but to make sure that we provide the support across to ensure the partner as well as the client will be successful. So in the pre-implementation stages, those activities can include developing the initial business case, rolling out the planning workshops, developing the project plan, et cetera. And then in the implementation, really the process design and process optimization, software configuration, systems integration, change management, supplier enablement, and onboarding. And in post-implementation, really dealing with the customer lifecycle support in terms of rolling out upgrades and new modules and optimization strategies. So it gives you a sense of the numerous ways in which partners can engage with Zycus and with their clients to drive value and create joint success. So just before I have Kartik take us through a few more details, and I think he'll illuminate this in more depth, when we look at the partner enablement plan, what we've tried to develop here is a way to very rapidly onboard and support a partner to get up and running very quickly. So across a 40-day timeline here, starting with an initial engagement process, putting an NDA in place, and then bringing a partner on board with lots of training and support. So a learning management system that introduces the partner to detailed training and certification on products, on process, on go-to-market if that's part of the relationship as well, and assessments along the way to ensure both of us that the partner is fully ready and capable to be deployed on a customer engagement. So with that, Karthik, I'd like for you to take us through a little bit more of the specifics when it comes to the partner enablement lifecycle.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Richard, for setting the stage and providing a valuable insight on Zycus capabilities and the overall view of partner enablement. I'll be talking more on the deeper aspects of how this entire partner enablement lifecycle works out. So when expanding the footprints along with the partners, we understand that it is very important to onboard and enable the partner in most effective and efficient way, and most importantly, in an accelerated manner. So the overall life cycle of the partner enablement spans across 3 stages. The first one is alliances. How do we start along with our alliances team? What are the kind of evaluation and training programs that we plan for the partner? And once in operation, what do we do as part of the first project and the subsequent projects? So I'll be detailing about this partner enablement lifecycle, where the first box, which is alliances, the first aspect is teaming agreement, which is done along with our alliances. Once it is done, we provide a complete learning management system where the partner is enabled on our LMS tool, wherein the partner profile evaluation is done and series of trainings are provided to the partner to get trained and then get certified. The training include the product features, the implementation processes, the configuration training, and overall process aspects. Once these trainings are completed, the partner is called as certified partner, wherein all the employees of the partner who are going to be part of the Zycus implementation needs to get certified. Once this certification is done, we call the partner to get involved in a implementation. Now, if it is the first implementation for partner, we provide a complete handholding and shadowing exercise. The project is primarily executed by Zycus team, and the partner teams shadow for all the activities, whether it be a project management activity, configuration activity, even in the cadence meeting, the partner is part of it. So it's a collaborative approach where all the implementation activities is done along with the partner to show how the implementation process works after getting a theoretical information during the training part of it. So the project starts from the initial phases, ends with the TAM handover till when the partner is involved, and post that, subsequent projects, whichever is initiated either by the partner or initiated during the as part of the sales cycle, is done by the partner by themselves. There is an evaluation that happens along with the partner, and if it happens that there is another round of implementation to be done in a shadowing mode, we conduct that second implementation as well. And the cycle continues. Once the Zycus team and Zycus training team is confident that partner can handle all the activities of implementation on their own, then it's just a minimal support that is provided by Zycus, and the implementations are done by partners themselves. So then it's also important that classification of partners are done to manage and maintain the right focus, and it aligns with the Zycus direction. Overall, the process of partner onboarding starts with the certification, which is where once the partner is certified, we call the partner as certified partner. And as I was explaining in the previous slide, once the partner gets involved in a couple of implementation, they are called as seasoned partners. They are classified as a seasoned partners when they do 1 or 2 implementations in shadowing and then go ahead in doing the implementation on their own. Further to that, the partners have a third classification called specialist partner, wherein the specialist partner is responsible for doing the implementation in their region. They gain the regional expertise and leaders in that region. The fourth and the topmost part of the pyramid are the strategic partners who have global footprints and are powerhouse for the Zycus implementation. They are our strategic partners. These are the subjective classification. These are the subjective classification about the partners. However, the path from certified partner to seasoned partners to specialist to strategic undergo a very objective evaluation where we divide the evaluation into 2 sections. One is Zycus implementation score, how the partners are scoring in the implementation, which has parameters such as number of implementation, complexity of implementation, what is the client CSI for the partner as well as the overall implementation processes. And then partner profile scoring is also based on some objective parameters like how many people in the partner's team are certified on Zycus products and implementation processes. What is the kind of implementation expertise do they have? What kind of domain do the partners implement? Is it only a single domain or multiple domain? What kind of revenue is generated? What kind of value-added services are provided? Is it only an implementation or partner is also involved in training, change management, supplier enablement, L1 support, content creation, etc. So these are the objective parameters which we use to define the partner and score the partner across the dual axis which is shown on that slide. So we understand and believe that the partner engagement has to be in collaborative mode. That's when a rich ecosystem is created. So there is a strong hand-holding that is provided by Zycus in terms of we provide a dedicated SPOC to the partner from Zycus who guides the partner on the next steps. The sales kit is provided to the partner for providing the sales details. The environments are provided to have a hands-on experience, and of course the implementation support which I was discussing in the previous slide. You also have training enablements. There are demonstration, there are implementation activity, knowledge shop. There is access to knowledge repository and certifications to self-assess the partners and self-assess the partner representatives. Go-to-market is planned together with the partner in that region to understand and bring the partner's experience and expertise in the localized regions. The marketing is joint plan. The networking is important for the partner. There are various events organized by Zycus where partners are part of it. And of course, co-branding is another aspect. This is important. This is the kind of what world needs today, and it's working towards more predictability and repeatability, which is everywhere. And partner enablement process is no exceptions. We use tools, as you see, Litmos, Floxu. They are already pre-configured. They are ready to use by the partners, and some of the partners are already using. Litmos is nothing but a learning management tool, which we use for training the partners, and partner can do self-assessment, self-training. Floxu is another tool, which is an automation process, where partner has the flow, what needs to be done next. It's a guided tool to the partner on the entire enablement exercise. So these are the snippets of the tools that we use for the partner enablement, and these are the platforms available which are ready to use even now. So these are some success stories with partners which we thought now we'll just demonstrate, and we will provide the details on multiple engagements which are going, both from the sales and service perspective. We have a diversified engagements with startups, global giants, regional SMEs, etc., and would like to highlight some of the success stories out of our experiences, which are really commendable. Like one of the customer success story is we have a strategic partner with a very well-known global setup. We initially started with the project management scope with that partner in one of our implementation, and the complete implementation was shadowed by Zycus. But within a span of 1 year, the same partner is having a third project of Zycus S2P implementation and is doing end-to-end with minimal support from Zycus team. Then we also have some partnership with large global giants as they are known. And again, the project started with a small piece of change management in one of the marquee customers of Zycus. And now in the very second implementation, they have taken over the complete project management exercise, project management track of the project, and rest of it is being done and supported by Zycus team. And similarly, we also have a partnership with new setups, new startups, a very fast-growing startup in their region. And they are also into their third implementation. The first was just a project management, and the rest two, they are doing both the project management and integration aspect. So this shows the diversity with which the partners are growing their footprints on Zycus implementation. They are able to take up the new aspects, new processes on their own after hand-holding of maybe 1 or 2 projects from Zycus team. So that's the strength and enablement program that we have, which enables the partner quite quickly, and they can take up the exercise on themselves. So some of the quotes where we have got a real good feedback from the partners in terms of how do we enable them, how the process are streamlined, how it is seamless, how seamlessly it works. So one of the partners have appreciated the Zycus willingness to support the partner for scaling up the business as well as processes. The hands-on approach that we provide as part of our training as well as first implementation or maybe first to implementation. And we also have a strong foothold in partnership at the sales cycle. Another partner understands us as a strategically positioned, and the way we bring the best practices to the clients, which eventually helps his clients in the region to have a best-in-class products. So thanks a lot to everyone. We are open for question and answers, and if there are any specific details or specific questions, clarifications that you need from us, we'll be happy to respond.
Yes, thanks so much, Karthik, and just wanted to thank everyone for attending today. And I know there probably are a lot more questions. We did want to provide this link here. Please reach out to marketing@zycus.com. Hopefully we've given you a good primer on sort of understanding who Zycus is, where we fit in the marketplace, and how you could fit as a prospective partner in the Zycus ecosystem. And as Karthik has detailed, some very robust processes for supporting partners that have driven the kind of success stories that you've just seen. So we'd like to repeat those successes with you as a new member of the Zycus partner ecosystem. And to take that first step, please reach out, send an email to marketing@Zycus, and we'll engage in the processes as we've outlined and which enable an accelerated path towards joint success. So with that, thanks to you, Kartik, and thanks to everyone for joining today. Please reach out for more information about joining the Zycus Partner Connect program. Thanks, everyone.